Hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation about what is the power or choosing the power behind pain. Oh my goodness. So I love the power part, and I'm really thrilled that so many people signed up for this conversation. I mean, I know people love free stuff. So maybe you just signed up because it's free. I hope not, because this is a conversation that really every one of us requires. And I'm going to say that bluntly. Everyone requires this conversation because we live in a world where pain is normal, right? It is. In this world, people seldom question any kind of pain. They just take it as, well, this is part of being human and I will not question it and I will just deal with it or avoid it and try to get rid of it. So what if there's a different possibility with what we have found so normal, the pain part? And when I talk about pain, I mean all sorts of pain. Physical is only one part of it. So when your body hurts, that's one part, but there's so many other like forms of pain, like, psychological pain, being anxious, depressed. That's something you might consider as, oh yeah, I know that this is pain. But what about all the other things like frustration? Like the daily, you go and open the door and see people and you go, like the contraction when you are outside of your home and you go from, oh my God, I have a wonderful day. You open the door and you go, people, that's also pain. Like all sorts of contraction where you react to something or someone is also pain. And notice, like, a lot of things that are also pain, you might not have considered that is pain. You might have gone, well, that's normal. What if it's not? And this conversation is my invitation to become even more aware of what you call normal that does not have to be normal for you. Okay. So what are you calling normal? What are you just like settling with? Okay, that's normal. That does not have to be normal for you. Oh my goodness. That. And if you have done a little bit like classes with me or other kind of like consciousness or access consciousness classes, you might have started to explore this journey of all of life coming to you with ease and joy and glory. Yes, any of you? Yep. Okay, cool. That. So that, like the ease and the joy and the glory, how much is that something that is more natural to you than the contraction and the pain? Right? Yes. And what if we start with acknowledging that? What if you start with, okay, wow, ease, movement, lightness, joy, glory, that, how much is that more congruent with you? Congruent with who you are? And oftentimes we have to remind ourselves that that is actually what's true for us. We live in a world that tries to distract us from what is true for us by all kinds of lies, by all kinds of needs, need to react, contractions, going along with what's normal, the normal pain. So that's something that we are in the presence of so much every day, like where someone or something tries to pull us away from what's natural for us. And I'm sure you know what I mean. Like you have like, oh my God, yes, I know all of life can come to me with ease and joy and glory. And then people, whatever kinds of people, family, main thing of pulling one away from ease, joy, and glory. Then work, colleagues, money, body stuff, like all kinds of things that just, that we allow to distract us from what's natural to us. So here we come in with choice, the choice to go, okay, I am aware of that there's something that tries to distract me to more contraction. What choice can I make for something that actually works for me, for something that's congruent with what's true for me, with the ease and the joy and the glory that's true for me? And that requires the choice to be different. And it's an ongoing practice, to make, like, you can ask, what choice can I make right now that is actually congruent with me and who I be? Okay, like right now in this moment, what choice can I make that is actually congruent with me and who I be? And for example, that is a tool and a question I just came up with now. I did not use this before, and this came up from this conversation, this time being together, and what I'm like picking up from you guys being here and what you are conveying to me. Because there's this thing called, I'm going to say it, energy, that is our main language. And even if you don't say anything, I can sense what you have in your world, and based on that, I can contribute. And that's a lot of the work I do. I used to be a normal psychologist until I realized there's such a bigger world of how we can facilitate, how we can change, how facilitation means making easier, how that actually works, and how that energetic world is so much more deep and has so much more information for us than the verbal or nonverbal part. So I'm using this a lot in my work, and it helps me a lot to like have an easier time inspiring change, facilitating change. And what I've seen, like that capacity, like how many of you have that capacity of being aware, of sensing, of having that sense that usually is not acknowledged, that sense of what's going on for people, that's like being aware of energies. And that is natural to us. Like that is something we actually came into this world before we started to speak language, words. We all could convey information energetically as babies, just like animals do. And that is our natural language. So what that requires is the capacity to be aware, to sense what's going on. Now, what does that have to do with pain? A lot. If you don't acknowledge your huge, amazing capacity to sense and be aware of what's going on in the world, for the earth, for people, if you don't acknowledge it, you use it against you. And how do you use it against you? By creating pain. Right? So what if you start to acknowledge even more than you already do? Even if you go, yeah, I know, I'm aware. Yeah, that's acknowledging that part. When there's universes of you sensing and being aware, and this capacity just grows and grows and grows and grows. It doesn't get less the more you are on this planet. And I've seen this with a lot of people, whether, the time when I worked in psychiatry and did therapy and psychologist work. And after that, when I started my own practice, the people who think they're crazy and wrong, and those who even also have diagnosis, when you start working with them and when you have a questioning way of working with them, it's what is the main pain point is that there is a huge level of awareness, like massive, that they have not been acknowledged for, and they have not learned how to use it for them to their advantage. And this is why I created Pragmatic Psychology, which is not the dramatic way where you look for problems, and you get stuck in them and you go, oh my God, feelings, emotions, and all that stuff. Pragmatic is doing what works. And it's a really, it's a short, it's a detour. It makes it faster and easier and so much deeper. And I'm really happy for this work. And if you're interested, there's a couple of books I've written. We can put a link there somewhere about this work. And I'm also educating other people to do this work out there in the world. They're called pragmatic practitioner trainings, and the people who do this are called pragmatic practitioners. So there are now worldwide people who have learned this method and they use it out there in the world. And it's this inspiration that change can be so different. And what's like not getting stuck with the pain point, you know, and that's what a lot of people do when they facilitate themselves or other people. Like when a client comes to you and they say, I have da problem, or this and this hurts, or I am frustrated, seldom is that being questioned. It's like, okay, let's work with the frustration. Let's work with the pain. Yeah, but there's already the lie. You cannot work with frustration and pain without questioning it. You know, so how can you change something without questioning it and just taking it for, oh, that's a reality, that's a fact. So with pragmatic psychology and in those pragmatic practitioner trainings, what we do is we question everything. And that takes a little bit of a practice, because when we listen to ourselves or other people, we have not been taught to question. We have been taught to just take it for what it is and then react to it, you know? So what if you get out of reaction of everything, you know, and notice first, how do you do that? First, notice that you are in reaction. Notice that you just take something for a fact without questioning, and then go, oh, wait a second, I didn't question that. Okay, let me do it now, even if it's 5 hours later or 2 days later, it doesn't matter. You know, you can take time out of the equation and just go, okay, I just said I have pain or I am feeling this and this, and I didn't question it. Okay, so let me question it now. So when I say this and this hurts, or I feel this and this, or this and this bothers me, what is it really? What is it? What can I do with it? Can I change it? How can I change it? What am I aware of? Like start to question everything. And that's the pragmatic perspective that is, it's fascinating with all the thousands of people I've worked worldwide over the past over 15 years. It's incredible how when people talk about a pain point and they are so convinced that is the problem, whether it's a phobia or something in their bodies or a relationships frustration or money frustration, if you start to question it, it's always something totally different than what it looks like. Always something totally different than it looks like. And that's the fascinating part. And then people find out, oh, I am not afraid. I am not this and this. What's actually true for me, what's actually going on for me is something totally different, oftentimes the opposite of it. Like when people think they're afraid, one of a gazillion examples could be they're actually excited. When they're afraid, it could be an awareness of something or someone that's not theirs. It can be so many different things. There's no general explanation. There's no like when this, then this. That's not how we work. That would be too linear. You have to be open for what it is for every single person. But when you get to what's true for them, their world opens up and lightness is theirs. And they are empowered to know what's true for them. And you can do that with you. And you can also do this in your work with other people. And that's the invitation here. And with that, the topic we have today, like what is the power behind the pain? That is one specialty in pragmatic psychology, where it's like this assumption where people just assume and expect pain and take it normal, never question it, and twist that naturalness of ease and joy and glory and the capacities whether it's the capacity to be aware or other capacities, like twisting it into pain so you can never use your capacity. Wow. So that is a sentence that I just said that you might want to hear a couple of times before it really like goes in all the way, because it's huge. If you look at, wow, what capacities do I have? What am I capable of? And how much am I avoiding that capacity and twisting it into pain so I can never use that capacity? Wow, huh? That's a level that's pretty potent if you have that strategy, and most people have that strategy. You know, why do we have this strategy? Well, how often have you been too much for other people? How often have you been too happy, too free, too light, too different? Have you been successful with that difference, or were you judged? Yeah. And if you have encountered that many times, like being judged, being vilified, maybe even being abused for being different, for being ease, joy, and glory, well, what do? You start hiding it. You start diminishing it. You start going against yourself. Okay. You twist that capacity into pain so you can never access it and use it. Pretty cool strategy, huh? But it's not kind to you. So what if you, when you start seeing that, notice, okay, I can make a different choice now. I have done this for many, 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 many years of my life on this planet so far. It worked because people started to like me when I was little, when I was making myself smaller. It's weird, huh? People like us when we make ourselves small. Wow, huh? When we contract, we are attractive to people. Isn't that crazy? We live in a really insane world. So when you contract, you attract. But what do you attract? People who are kind to you, or people who like you being small? You know, and that's another pain point. Contracting so you attract. Wow, like making yourself smaller so people like you. So what if that is not your only choice? What if you go, you know what? I'm going to be me. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be whatever people call too much, ease, joy, and glory, different, whether people like me or not. What if that is actually where you create a life that works for you? What if that actually works much better? But every single one of us has to make that choice. And we have to see, wow, this actually works much better when I don't diminish myself. Then I can actually have people in my life that are happy for me being great. Yeah. So relationships, people are another pain point if we allow it to be. But again, there's a different choice. There's a different choice where I go, okay, even if I'm alone for a while, because there's a transition, like I make a transition process where I let go of all the people who are actually not kind to me and not happy for my change and for me being great. If that is okay for you to let them go, who else could you invite that is actually kind to you? And I gotta say, like I made that choice. I don't know how many, like whatever, many years ago, and I was surprised how totally different people showed up in my life that actually have my back. I never thought that was possible, because I went, okay, I rather, like I had this, then I rather be alone. And I didn't let people close to me. But when I realized, okay, I can be me and have people close to me, that totally changed my relationships and everything. So it's really a journey that we can make that can be so different than what we see out there. So maybe in this conversation, you already started to see, oh my God, there's like so many pain points that we just take for granted and never question. how different can I be? What's the power behind what I call pain? And one more aspect that might be helpful for you to just like start hearing and start exploring is what we've learned with pain is to like when pain shows up, what is your first strategy? Trying to get rid of it, trying to avoid it, right? Yeah. So what does that do? Yes, exactly. It creates more. So anything you try to get rid of, you give power to. Yeah. So getting rid of or avoiding is what this whole reality does. Like if you go to any expert in whatever area and you say you have pain, they're going to give you a strategy to get rid of it in whatever way they work. I'm not going to give you examples. You know what I mean. Okay. Just take a couple of like professionals in their field. What are they going to do with your pain? They're going to show you ways to get rid of it. Yeah, but that actually doesn't work because everything you try to get rid of just gets more. So to get to the power behind the pain, it's not that it doesn't work to get rid of it. It actually requires to allow it, to receive it, and then discover, wow, what have I hidden behind it that I can now choose to access and allow? And this is a huge topic. This is like so much. So I will not be able to explore this much in this short Zoom together because it's a huge conversation that it requires a willingness to be so different and not stop and be distracted by the pain point and go, oh, la, 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 I just want to get rid of it. This is a conversation for you who is actually willing to go further and say, okay, I really am ready to know what's there for me to discover behind what I call pain. What power is there that I can now choose? And what if I'm willing to be that different, where things actually come to me with ease, with joy, with glory, whatever it is? What if life does not have to be about what's difficult and what's heavy? And maybe one step you can start with is realizing how much you expect difficulty. When you wake up in the morning, how often do you expect difficulty? Yeah. What if it doesn't have to be that way? So there's already a lot in this time together. So if you want more, welcome to join us for the Power Behind Pain program. There's going to be a link. You can find out more information there or ask someone who works with us in our team. And it's a couple of calls together. There's a manual. There is a group where you can ask questions in between. And what this program is about is for you to learn how to facilitate yourself from pain to power and how to facilitate other people with that topic, whether you want to start to work with people, let's say as a coach or facilitator, or whether you already work for 100,000 years as a coach and a facilitator, or you just want to use it for your family or your relationships. This is for anyone who has a lot of experience or no experience at all. We have a lot of people who come there, like some of them are doctors or access CFs or like all kinds of different people, and those who never worked with people before and just want to start. So this is really in addition to your work with people, with yourself, whether you are in pain or you work with people who are in pain and who is not. Now you see pain is everything that makes you contract, that makes you not be the ease and joy and glory that you actually are. So everything basically. So welcome to join us to this very unique program where you really learn those steps of, okay, so what is behind it? How can I get there for me and my work with other people? So I'm really excited about this. It's a very unique program. And the link is somewhere, and you also get it in your email with this conversation. And maybe you realize that in this conversation we already had, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of information already, that if you listen to it again, you might want to start using it and implementing this in your life. When I do those free Zooms, it's not, it's of course like the invitation to whatever program is coming, but it's mostly for you to already have information and content to be able to use it for your life. And that's what's important for me. Like when I do these free Zooms, it's not just, oh, like buy this. It's already a lot of content and information for you to be able to use it and start seeing your life in a different way, and a different possibility. And there's so much more. Again, I wrote, how many books have I written? 5 books so far. Yeah. And there's more to come. So if you want to start by reading my books, you can do that too. There's podcasts, there's videos, there's a lot of content already out there that you can start to explore and enjoy around those different topics about pragmatic psychology and more. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I'd love to see you at this program that starts in June. Welcome to join us. If you need translation into your language, please let us know as soon as possible so we can arrange your language. And yes, what can we choose different? And Anna, you wanted to say something. You raised your hand.
I just wanted to say quickly, because there was a question in the chat, if mental illness will be part of it. So the program is also designed by the participants. So whatever is interesting to you, we talk about. There is a manual and stuff, but it's not like step by step. Just to
yeah,
make
exactly. The manual we have is the edition, but we don't go through like only the manual. No. It's you ask your specific questions. You can ask a personal question, whether it's like you who has pain or whether it's your life or your body. You can be very personal. And like in all my classes, in all of my calls, like people usually are very personal. They ask their questions about their, like, there's a wonderful, beautiful vulnerability where people like say, hey, this is going on for me, can you help me change this? And then their question is a contribution for everyone. Like everyone else in the class goes, oh my God, thank you so much for being so vulnerable, thank you for asking your question, this helped me so much. So you can be very personal. You don't have to expose or do anything. You can just listen and receive from everyone else. And you can bring your personal questions. If there's something you want to know about mental illness, I'm happy to talk about it. If there's anything other specific topic, tell me and we can talk about it. It's you, we create these classes together. So whatever is relevant to you, we can talk about. So absolutely, yes. And if you, yeah, there's so much. I mean, if you go to my webpage, there's something called a shop, and there's all the classes I have ever facilitated, not all of them, but most of them, calls and classes, most of them, not all. They're available now in my shop. So you can also, if there's any specific topic and you just want to do 1 call or 3, you can go there and check out if your favorite topic is there, and just like, there's all kinds of different price ranges for you, and you can just like check out the big buffet of possibilities. Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Anna, for asking. So now, how different can we be? May all you're asking for come to you greater, sooner, and with way more ease, joy, and glory than you can imagine. And how about you choosing it and allowing it just because you can? Yes. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for translating, you awesome, brilliant people. Kisses all over you. Bye-bye.